This damn league. I love the NBA, but this league just can't get the hell out of their own way. This time last year, we were talking about NBA ratings circling the pooper. We were talking about no one caring, and by no one, I'm including NBA players. This time last year, we were talking about no one caring about the regular season. This year, the NBA is on fire. Some games on ESPN are up 50% over last year. The NBA is performing well with Amazon. NBC has been a phenomenal broadcast partner, but no one is talking about that. And the reason we aren't talking about it is because the NBA can't get the hell out of their own way. A lot of the problems in this league, they are self-created problems. The NBA is dealing with a massive influx of injuries to star players. Now, obviously, there's not really much they can do about that. The league has been infected with the disease of gambling, a disease that Adam Silver purposely injected into the league. Hey fans, it's me, Adam Silvey. DraftKings is giving away free money. Place a $5 bet on a parlay that has absolutely no chance of hitting, and you could win $5 trillion. Wowzer! You'll be richer than me. Of course, you have a better chance of spiking your hair by sticking your finger in an electric ass than hitting one of these doofus parlays. But the NBA, they don't care about that. They just want your money. And some NBA players, they damn sure don't care because they're the ones on the court fixing the bets, making sure you don't win. And now, the NBA is dealing with another potential public relations nightmare. And it's another self-created nightmare. This week is the semifinals and the finals of the in-season tournament. Well, Uncle Casey, don't you mean the Emirates Cup? No, I'm giving the NBA free marketing advice by calling it the in-season tournament. Marketing this meaningless tournament as the Emirates Cup is the reason the NBA is receiving backlash. It's the reason the abundance of hypocrisy in this league is being exposed. 5 years ago, the NBA delivered a passionate sermon on the myth of mythical racism. LeBron James demonized the police. According to the NBA, supporters of Donald Trump were accused of violating the woke commandments. The problem with leagues being political, besides the fact that it alienates half your audience, if you're going to be political, you better be damn sure you're not hypocritical. Unfortunately for the NBA, their hypocrisy is once again being exposed. Because while they were accusing Americans of being racist, the NBA gladly accepted a generous donation from Emirates, which is a state-run airline in the UAE. The NBA has gladly accepted their money, while the UAE is allegedly funding a genocide in Sudan. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Drop It Wine. I quit drinking 18 months ago, but every once in a while, I want to have a glass of wine with dinner or have a drink or two at happy hour with my friends. Damn near every time I do, I get an instant headache after one glass of wine. Hell, sometimes all it takes is half a glass. I thought this was just my body not being used to the alcohol. However, it could be caused by preservatives in the wine, and that's where Drop It Wine steps in. Drop It Wine is the ultimate solution to your wine sensitivities from sulfites and tannins. All you do? Put 1-2 drops in your glass of wine and you no longer have to worry about the pending headache or the rosy cheeks. Drops from Drop It Wine, they do not change the taste of your drink. Matter of fact, It actually makes astringent red smoother. Drop It wine has been independently tested and verified by an American-based wine laboratory in Napa Valley. And Drop It wine is also made right here in America. This would make a perfect stocking stuffer for Christmas or as an accessory to any wine that you're giving as a gift to someone else. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20, BTL20. Receive 20% off your first purchase with Drop It wine. A group called Refugees International. They are publicly demanding that the NBA terminate their partnership with Emirates Airlines. They're also demanding that the NBA terminate their alliance with the UAE. But Casey, I thought the UAE was an ally to America. The UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, these are our friends. I don't think there's any such things as friends with these countries in the Middle East. These Islamic countries, they use our tolerance to manipulate us. And look, to their credit, Islamists are brilliant when it comes to manipulation. They know that American corporations are blinded by greed. All they have to do is use hundreds of millions of dollars as a diversion, and they know that American corporations will close their eyes and pretend that the machete is just a toy. The gulag in the lobby is just for decoration. For years now, Middle Eastern countries have been sports washing. They've been sponsoring major American sports leagues or major American events, and they use their money to divert attention away from their atrocities. Saudi Arabia has been doing this with the WWE for years now, just like the UAE has been doing the same thing with the NBA. Refugees International, they put together a short video highlighting the problem with the NBA's partnership with the UAE. Hopefully, this will make it through the copyright checks here on YouTube. If the video doesn't show, you know why, it got removed, but hopefully you can watch it for yourself.
But what if I told you the same UAE is also sponsoring something far darker? The RSF. Not a team, not a player, but a paramilitary group responsible for mass atrocities in Sudan. Why would the UAE support this? What could they possibly gain? Gold, land, power. The UAE has been funneling arms into Sudan, propping up the RSF and letting violence rage on. Since April 2023, the numbers are staggering. More than 10 million people displaced. The death toll continues to grow. Sudan has the most people facing famine and is the fastest growing displacement crisis in the world.
First of all, how many of you guys knew about what's going on in Sudan? For the better part of 2 years, I've been constantly hearing about Palestine. I see uninformed college kids waving Palestinian flags. Hell, I have seen more Palestinian flags in the last 2 years than I've seen rainbow flags. You know how many Sudanese flags I've seen? You know how many articles in the mainstream media I have seen about the genocide in Sudan? None! 5 years ago, the NBA was committed to eradicating mythical racism in America. They boarded the Bruce Caboose, they joined the woke media and put black people into something that they were calling marginalized groups, which is absolutely insulting when you think about it. NBA players were demanding to defund the police. They were talking about supposed police brutality here in America. But I have yet to see a single NBA player talk about Sudan. To make matters worse, they're accepting hundreds of millions of dollars from a country who's potentially responsible for the war in Sudan. A war where 12 million people have lost their homes. 150,000 have lost their lives. 25 million need humanitarian assistance. You know, the NBA was real concerned about the problems black people were facing here in America. Black people represent around 13% of the American population. In Sudan, they're 30% of the population. Now, with that being the case, you would think the NBA would double their resources and raise awareness for the people of Sudan. Instead, it has been complete silence from the NBA. I wonder why. Look, I don't expect the NBA to know every move that the UAE is making. This deal with the UAE was organized a couple of years ago. From the verbiage in the video, it sounds like the conflict in Sudan started in April of 2023. More than likely, the NBA entered into this deal with the UAE before the conflict started or before they knew about it. But now they know. Now there is no excuse. And look, Refugees International, they're not being unreasonable. They're not demanding that the NBA cancel the in-season tournament this year or the Emirates Cup. But going forward, they're asking the NBA to terminate their partnership with the UAE, which is something the NBA should do either way. There is a reason Islamic countries are investing hundreds of millions of dollars into American sports leagues. And I promise you, the reason has nothing to do with American interest. It has absolutely nothing to do with helping America or making the richest country in the world even wealthier. Islamic countries, they are trying to buy influence. Well, Uncle KC, why would they want influence? There are many ways to spread Islam, which is the ultimate goal of any Islamist. One of the most known ways of spreading Islam is through jihad, violence. This is Iran's preferred way of spreading Islam. But a lot of these other countries in the Middle East, they have figured out that jihad is no bueno. They have figured out that Americans don't really like violence. It's not effective. It's not the best way to get people on your side. So what do? They use a concept called dawah. Dawah is an Islamic concept where influence is gained through humanitarian causes or through infiltrating culture. What's one of the best ways to infiltrate American culture? Sports. They started with the WWE. I believe the UFC's held events in the UAE, and now it's the NBA. Just like the gambling companies, Middle Eastern countries, they are using their greed against them. The question is, will the NBA do anything about it? They were quick to discipline Daryl Morey when he spoke out against China. When was that? Back in 2019? Will the NBA have the same reaction with the UAE? I doubt it. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.